Michael O'Connor helped lead the men's basketball program to its most successful four-year run in the team history. The Farmington, Connecticut native was a four-year starter at guard and two-time all-conference performer, serving as the team captain his junior and senior seasons. O'Connor holds the program's all-time record for assists with 480, and his 161 career steals ranks fifth. He is among 23 men's basketball student athletes to reach the 1,000-point milestone with 1,025 points, while his 102 games started and 105 games played rank second and fifth in program history respectively. O'Connor made an immediate impact during his freshman season in 1999-2000 as he started all 28 contests for a Western New England squad that went 22-6, captured the GNAC championship, and appeared in the NCAA Division III tournament for the second time in program history. O'Connor was recognized as the GNAC Rookie of the Year for his contributions. The following season, Western New England topped the 20-win mark again, 20-8, and repeated as GNAC champions with the help of O'Connor, who was named to the GNAC All-Tournament team. O'Connor's junior and senior campaigns were highlighted by selections to the All-GNAC second team. In 105 career games, he compiled 1,025 points, 480 assists, 312 rebounds, and 161 steals. O'Connor's teams went a combined 74-35 for a 678 win percentage and won 2 GNAC titles with 2 NCAA tournament appearances.
So one of the things I thought that made Mike O'Connor a really good basketball player was he really understood. He played with great tempo. He always understood the flow of the game. He knew, when to push the ball, when to slow it down. He just kind of had that natural feel to him. And as a point guard, I mean, it's pretty important to have that. And as one of his teammates, we always appreciated that he could control the game. He understood when he had the ball in his hands, kind of how to manipulate the game in our favor. So that's one thing with Mike that I'll always think of. The other thing, skill-wise, I'll always bag on him, for his three-point shot, but he did have a fantastic pull-up jumper. He kind of had this deadly little 10 to 16 foot mid-range, right over the front of the rim pull-up that was, real tough to stop. And I think that was, Mike's go-to move, and he bailed us out of a couple situations with that play. So,
Mike O'Connor was the type of player that everyone wanted on their team. I can honestly say he was actually one of, or if not the best point guard that I played with in my basketball career. The big thing about him that really stood out for me was his mid-game and his mid-game jump shot. He very rarely took a shot that he shouldn't have, and probably 75 to 80% of the time he would hit a 15-foot jump shot. The other good part about him was he was a risk taker. He passed the ball at times when it was kind of a tricky play, or it was at a moment in the game where it was a crucial play and not many people would have taken that risk, but he was the type of player to do that. He also had really good court vision. He knew when to throw the ball the distance of the court to get an easy bucket. He also knew when to slow it down. And just overall, he was a good decision maker, and again, had a really good mid-range game.
When I think of characteristics that made OC successful, one that comes to mind was he was just a real easygoing person, real easy to get along with teammate, and he just kind of understood the dynamics of a team. And I'm going to give a shout out to his parents, Bob and Chris, on this one, as well as his brother Tio and the rest of his Farmington crew. If you were ever around them, in a social setting or just together, it was very natural. It was almost like a 90210 episode where they were just so easy to get along, and I think he kind of brought that into the team atmosphere. He understood the dynamics of a team and kind of what buttons to push and how to assimilate himself in a certain situation. And I think that's real tough as a freshman to do that, and he did that with us. He came right in, and it was like he was there for 4 years, not just, didn't just show up yesterday. So, and I think this benefited him as he went on to his junior and senior year when he had to take more of a leadership role.
One memory that I had about Mike was a game that we were actually playing against Johnson and Wales. We were playing away. We were playing in Rhode Island. It was a really feisty crowd. The crowd was really into the game. We were jawing back and forth. Both teams were going back and forth and at it with one another. And I had come up to half court, and Mike was coming down at full speed. And he was probably about 5 steps away from me. And he said to his opponent, wrong way. And when he went by me, I had set a screen. The guy ended up falling to the ground, and Mike ended up taking it to the bucket, scoring. Had a few more words for him on his way down, but that would be my best memory of him.
All right, quick story on kind of my first memory of Mike O'Connor. And the summer it actually happened before he even stepped on campus. The summer going into his freshman year and the summer going into my senior year, we played in a summer league game, summer league over here at Greenleaf Park in Springfield. And it was myself was the only returning player, and then it was like 5 or 6 freshmen and 2 or 3 transfers that were coming to play in this league. So the first game, you know, everyone's kind of introducing themselves, yada, yada, yada. And we're waiting on this Mike O'Connor guy. And I had never met Mike. I wasn't here for his recruiting visit, but I heard all about him because Coach Pearson, like, this was his guy. You know, you're going to love this guy, Abe's. He's solid, he's tough, he's a great player. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. And, you know, I see 2 guys walking up from the parking lot, and it's Bryce Hardy and Mike O'Connor, the Farmington guys. You know, Bryce like 6'5", so I knew him. And then, you know, Mike O'Connor comes walking up, and it looks like he's walking into, like, you know, an 8th grade travel soccer jamboree tournament. I go, he's 5'9", 125 pounds. He's got his sleeveless shirt with his little stick arms out, shaved head, and I'm like, this is our guy right here. Like, okay, coach, you know, I'll be nice. So OC comes up, you know, we do our introductions. So we tip the ball up, and it was like 5 or 10 minutes into the game. I'm like, yeah, this kid's pretty good. He's going up against a former D1 guy who was a little bigger than him, and, you know, he's kind of beating him around, and Mike did not give an inch, and then comes down, does a little crossover, does that pull-up jumper I talked about, and it was like, okay. Like, right then, I'm like, we're going to be in pretty good shape next year. So that was kind of my first moment. And, you know, Mike, I've definitely probably told you this before. So, you know, love you, buddy. Congratulations. Real proud of you.
I fully understand why Mike O'Connor is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was that player that everyone wanted on their team. He was a great shooter. He had a great mid-range game. He played defense. He got his teammates involved, and most importantly, he was very, very competitive. And Mike, I just want to tell you, it was a pleasure playing with you and being a teammate, but not only that, it was also a pleasure having you as a friend for my college career and to this day. So I'm real proud of you, and again, I'm happy to be a part of this.